Do you want to learn how to make landscapes and landscape designs, making nature designs in Unreal Engine? Then this tutorial is for you. Hi, so welcome to the first section of this tutorial. And in this section, we are actually going to concentrate on making the landscape and laying out our props on the landscape. So the first thing that you need to do, you're actually going to be welcomed with this new scene when you create a new project. And what I mostly do is I delete this stage, which you have to do. I delete the player start and the reflection, the sphere reflection, then leave the rest there. We're going to be left with the atmospheric fog, light source, sky sphere, and the skylight. We'll be taking care of those ones later. So you go to the modes, click on landscape, you go down, and we are going to choose the section size. With the size, we are going to choose 15 by 15, and then leave the rest the same. Then create. Now you can see that we have some kind of a greedy on the plane. It's more like a plane. So how to remove this? You can build your lighting for it to go, but I actually want to make the light dynamic. So I'm actually going to go on the light source and then choose movable at the transform side. So just going to disappear instantly. So the next thing that we want to do is just give a little sculpt. We just want to do a little sculpt on the terrain. So let me reduce this. Okay, let me reduce this a bit down. Bring it down. Okay, and just bring it down. So go on the sculpt, select the two, that's the sculpt 2, then try and sculpt something simple on the scene. Okay, I'm just going to do something simple here, not too detailed, but something simple, something natural. I won't say natural, but well, something simple to run with. Okay, I'm now actually going to use a reference, but in a natural sense, I'll advise you to use a reference, but in this tutorial, I'm not going to use a reference here. So let's just try and use our own mind to create this. So let me use the flatten to just to make it a little flat. Yep, flatten to make it a little flat. In here, we have some simple kind of shape here. Let me just do something around here to make it look a little downy. Okay, so I have this simple shape around here. We go up, you can see it. It's just a simple shape, nothing serious about it, but it will be beautiful after we are done. So the next thing that I want to do is just to apply my material. Now, as I said before in the start, we are actually going to use two material assets, which is Brushify and the environmental set or environment sets, which you're going to find on the Unreal Engine marketplace. So you can buy them and just use it. So what we're going to do is just go to Brushify and click on materials, go to landscape, and I'll switch this. Okay, it's already there. Click on the landscape, you go to details, go down, you find material, that's the landscape material, then you click on this arrow. Sorry, I was supposed to select this first. That's the ML material, ML landscape. Then I'll click on this arrow for it to apply on the landscape. So after it's done applying, you just have to go to the landscape, which is the mountain look-alike, and you go to the paint. Brushify has a whole lot of materials, different materials, which you can use for grass dry, desert, forest, forest dry, snow, they are all in there. So but I'm actually going to use the grass. Select the none, which is this part, and just fuse in the grass layer info, and boom, they are all applied to the scene. So if I play my scene, which is Control P, you see on it we already have the grass already on. We already have the grass in our scene. We can clear up the grass if you don't need it, but I want to keep it on so that we actually it will make this tutorial simple and fast. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to place my props. That's the trees, and we'll go to the content browser, and I'm just going to choose the environment set. So go to the environment set, and I'll try and layout, go to the foliage and go to models, and I'm just going to try and test out some models. Okay, just going to try out some models here. So first off, we have this long type of model. Good. And we also have this one also here, which is also good. So I think I'm actually going to use these two types. Okay, I'm not going to use that. I can use that later, but I'm not sure I'm going to use that. So that's serious. Okay, so I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to use these two types of trees. So we are actually going to use foliage. That's you spawning everything on your scene. So I'll go to the foliage, and then I'll drop this tree into the scene with the foliage. Yep. Let me drop this here, and I'll drop this second one also in here. Maybe put this one also there, and a last one also there. So we have about 3 trees in here, 4 actually. So what I'm going to do is just paint them on the scene. So I'll click on this and delete these ones out of the scene, and go to the foliage. Now set your paint density to 0.03, but let me try out and see if it's actually good for the scene. Okay, good. So let me expand this a little bit and just paint it on the scene. Isn't it too dense? But it's too dense, but I'm just gonna try and use this wisely, not too much. Yep, I'm not gonna use it too dense out. Okay, so let me try doing this. Wait. Let me go to the top and get a nice view of the place and just lay it down there. So I can just put this here. Okay. Put the other here. And just try and lay out something in the middle. Okay. Nothing so big, nothing small, just place it in there. I just want more like the middle to be left out. Okay, this middle part to be left out in the scene. So let me just spread it up a bit and just lay some trees down here. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so I'm actually going to go inside. Let me see how dense this material is going to be. P is actually dense. Okay, so that's how it's actually going to look like. Okay, so now we have this simple scene in here, and it's cool, it's nice. This is what we have. So nice and cool. Let me just go check out something if they have LODs on them. So that maybe if I want to change out the LODs to make my scene a little dense or a little not heavy, I could do that. So I'm just going to change the LODs to, yep. So we can save that, but okay, so save that around just to make it a little more soft for me, not too much. Just gonna choose 2. And two. Let's see. Just gonna choose 2. So it's not actually going to be an auto thing, but it's just going to be just choosing an LOD for it. So I think it's going to make my scene a little not heavy. Okay, so we have this. In the next tutorial, I'm just going to talk about the lighting. Okay, this is the simple way you can just create your landscape. Just put up the props in there and you're done. Okay, you can do a little adjustment to the plate if you actually want to put more props into the scene, or you want to sculpt the landscape or put in some more effort to it. You can do that by going into the landscape and just go to the sculpt. If you want to smooth out some of the spots in there, you can do that also. Okay, so what we're gonna do is actually add more foliage to this part. I'm actually going to turn this to 1, and I'm actually going to sculpt on this. So let me check out my foliage and select the ones that I want to place in my scene and just put them all right. So let me put this 1, 2 stuff in my scene. I don't want to make it more dense or something like that, but I just want it to be settled. Okay, nothing serious in here. So yeah, so the next thing that I need to do is just get a nice vintage point, okay, where all the materials are actually gonna meet or something like that. So not really materials, but a place I can actually call a vintage point, so that I can actually render from that part. So let's get somewhere here. Let's get here. Let me just choose somewhere, some parts around here to render. Yep, let's go W out here, go part of here, and let's go here. Let's go and do this part. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this part as my vintage point. So nice thing I'm going to do is click on the landscape and Control 1, so that if I'm actually switching out from here, I can press 1 and switch to the part that I actually need. So with the lighting, this is what you're going to do. We just go into the world outliner, click on the light source, and go to the details and start adjusting the light source that you need. So I'm actually going to choose a warm color. Choose a warm color and turn it up to about 5. Let's see this. Okay, 3, 3, 5. It depends on what you want. So why is it not why is it not updating? Okay, I'm actually pressing on 3. Okay, so sorry. Let me save this. And what I'm going to do next is actually go to the light mask, no, light shaft actually, then click on light shaft occlusion, and press on the light shaft bloom. And what I'm going to do next is actually add a fog to the scene so that the light can actually penetrate through. So what I'm going to do is go exponential height fog, put it in my scene, and you can now feel the fog in the scene. And I think this is settled, and I'm going to use this. Yep, maybe let me just try and apply something to it too. Maybe if this is too dense, I can actually do something to it later, but let me go 7. Oh, that's too deep. Go to 2. Oh, 2. Sorry, to make it settle. Now the next thing that we ought to do is go to volumetric fog so that the light can actually pass through the fog. Okay, so let's click on that and boom. And we can see we are getting some nice stuff around here. So to actually work on this, I'm actually going to use I need to position the sun. If the sun is actually, or the light is actually going to pass through the trees to get me some nice God rays. So what you're going to do is click on the landscape itself and press on Control Alt L, and you see this gizmo coming in here, and I need to choose a nice part that's actually gonna give me some nice lighting around here. So that's nice and cool, but I need something more better. Okay, let me try and figure out this part. Okay, just trying to figure out the part that is actually gonna work for me. So I think I'm gonna use this and come down a little bit so that I could get some nice stuff around here. So good, I think this is better. So what can I do to this scene now? Let me go check out some info around here. The extinction, if we add more, is actually going to fill up our scene. You can see that we are getting some God rays in there. Let me go click on the default. That's the one. Let me just try and work this out again. Click on the landscape and Control Alt L. Actually looking for something more better here. Alright, so let me check from this angle to see what is actually going on here. Okay, nope, press 1 to go back. Okay, good. So let's just use this part. Okay, so basically this is how the lighting is actually done. There's a simple lighting. If you want to add some other props in there to make it look good, like let me see, reflection, not really reflection box, but reflection capture. We don't actually have anything that looks more reflective in the scene, so I don't think I need the reflection in there. So basically there's a simple lighting that you can do for your scene. So the next thing is we want to make it look good. So what will make a scene look more beautiful and more colorful is when you are actually doing post-processing. So in this session, we are actually going to do the post-processing, and I'll say post-processing is more like the color grading part, the part where you actually bring out the goodness of the scene, trying to polish up the scene. So what we're going to do is first click on mode, click on the place, then search post processing, and you see the post process volume. You just drag it into your scene. Good. So what we are going to search right now here is in the details. We are actually going to search infinite. Okay, infinite extent. When you click this, it means it is actually not going to be bounded in the box. It's actually going to spread out of the box. The effect is not actually going to be bound in the box. It's going to be outside the box too. So we click on the infinite, then we start our post processing, and I want to try out something here. Let me just drag this up so that we can see what's going on here. Let me just look up this place for us to know what's actually going on. So first off, let's start with the render features. Now let me click up this ambient cube matte and click on intensity. Let me just mostly unless I put in an ambient cube up here, more like maybe an ADR or something like that, but let's do this one and see what's gonna happen. So not much really happens, but at least let's keep it that way. So the next, I'm actually going to ambient occlusion, and I'll increase the ambient occlusion up, and you can see that as we are increasing the figure, we are actually getting some occlusion in our scene. Okay, and if you actually want to let's see without it. Now check this side. You can see that there's a bit of darkness there. When I click it off, you can see that the darkness is off. When I click it on, you feel some darkness in there. Let me check this out so that you can see what is actually going on in there. So yeah, so the next thing that I want to do is go to just do what I'm actually doing here so that we can actually go. So basically I'll be talking about this as we go on. Let me turn this up to 100 is okay. And now we're done with this part. That's the rendering features. If you have if you have ray tracing, you can turn it on too. So let me check this out. Okay, so let's go up where the fun part is. And first of all, I'm just going to color grading, and let's see what we have here. Wait a minute. Okay, lens. Okay, so first I'm just going to turn up the bloom intensity, turn it up about 0.2. Let me see how it's going to look like. Okay, looks okay. Turn up the threshold a bit up for it to be set up. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we go to what is this, exposure. We already have the exposure in this, but to make it more settled, we can also turn up this also in there. Let's position it to about 2 or 3 in here. Let me see, 3. 3 is a bit high, and we turn it into 2 to check out how it's actually going to look like. I think it's too high. How about one? Let's see, one here. Still look a bit high. So let me just shrink it up to about 0.5 or 0.4. Okay, it's okay now. Now the reason why we do this is because Unreal Engine has what we call auto exposure. So most of the times it kind of takes over the scene and a whole lot like that. So basically this actually controls those controls the auto exposure. So I'm just going to turn this on. First, the minimum brightness, I'm just going to turn it to 0.2. Okay. And yeah, just turn it to 1 here. So basically now you see that the light is a bit more settled. Let me try bringing this up to see how it's actually going to look like. Maybe okay, the more I bring it up, the more it goes out. So let's bring it to 1. I think this is cool. Let me try bringing this up a bit. 0.2 is okay, at least to keep it more settled. And why don't I just go back to the exposure and set it a bit more higher. I'm gonna keep it at 0.5. Yeah, this is more cool. So the next thing that I'm going to do is set up a chromatic aberration in my scene. Actually, chromatic aberration, let me just turn it up for you to see how it actually gives it a feel of, I don't know how to explain it, more like a depth, but basically when you use it more settled, it's kind of look good. So actually when I turn it off, you see that the scene, the edges, mostly the edges, the edge side get affected. But when you use it, it actually makes your scene look good. So start off offset, no problem. The next thing I want to do here is I'm not actually going to work on the camera. I'm not going to work on the depth marks also. The lens flare, it mostly affects the scene when you are in the camera mode. So I'm not actually going to use it, but I'm just going to click it on to give us that effect. So the image effect, more like the vignette style. So let me try increasing it a bit for us to get more like that vignette effect. Mostly when vignettes are in your scene, it helps you focus on what you are trying to show. So more like darkens the other side of the scene. Okay, so depth of field, let me try working on this a bit, but let's forget about this for now. So let me go to color grading. Now when we go to the global, I'm actually going to turn on saturation and contrast. That's the only one I think I'm going to work on. So I'm just going to bring this figure, that's the saturation part, to 0.3. Boom. And now you can see that the color is actually popping out. Let me try and bring the contrast. Sorry, not contrast. So 0.2. Okay, now you can see that the colors are actually popping out. If I try and pop this more up, it will actually look good. 5, and you can see that the colors are actually coming out. Let me try and yeah, I think it's cool, it's good. 1.5 is, I think, is okay. I think the chromatic aberration is actually affecting our scene in a way. Let me try turn it off to see what's up with it. Okay, so I think, yeah, the chromatic aberration was actually affecting our scene. So let me try bringing it up around 0.7. or let me turn it off. You can use it maybe later in your scene. Okay, you can use it maybe later in the scene just to check out if the scene is okay. So the next thing I want to do is the gamma. Let me check out the gamma. If I could just turn up the gamma a bit high. Nope, I don't really want that style. I actually want it a bit more subtle, so I'm actually going to turn the gamma off, and I'm not going to do the green and all those stuff, so let's shut that out. So midtones, okay, let's go to the midtone saturations. I'm actually going to turn this out to about 1.2. We are kind of having a deep view of it, but actually going to turn this down a bit. Okay, more good, but contrast to about 3-4. That looks bad. It kind of look good, but it's bad for me. So on 1.1, let's check 1.1. Still not that cool for me. Okay, it's good, but okay, small settled. The next thing that I'm actually going to do is go to the global and reduce this, reduce the saturation here and bring it to like 1.3. Good. I think there's more natural. And the midtones, I don't know if I should just pop this out. Let me check. Okay, it's okay. So the next thing that I want to do is what next? So yeah, so basically that's all we're gonna do with the post processing. Now you can see from our scene that the scene actually looks good. The scene actually looks good. It's more natural. Though the colors may be a bit different, but kind of looks good. Yeah. So if I go to the one, okay, now we can see that our gold rays are just popping out in here. So let's just try and just use the gold rays. Try to change the gold rays direction. See what is going to happen in our scene. Now you can see that it's actually giving us some nice cool view. Okay, so let me try and bring it here. Actually, you're not actually seeing it well in my view. So to actually see what is going on, I'm just going to take a screenshot of it. High res shot. Then go to 920p, 920 by 1080 to check out how it actually looks like. I'm supposed to get this. Let me just open it up here. Pictures, not pictures, documents, Unreal Engine, project, save file, screenshot, and this is it. It's actually not really perfect, but this is how I actually do most of my scenes. This is how I actually do most of my landscape. This is just a rough tutorial for you guys. So basically this is how it looks like. And yeah, if you want to do more to it, if you actually want to do more nice stuff to it, you can do some focal length stuff in there. Let me check out something here. I remember I've seen this before, but yeah, basically I've seen this before. So let me see the lens exposure. lens flourish, image effect, depth of field. So let me try doing something nice here and see what is actually working out here. So what am I doing? This is just experimental. Okay, I'm actually trying to experiment in this. Let me see. I'm actually trying to find. Okay, let's see this. You can do a lot to the scene, so it's basically up to you. The more you want to push this, the more you want to put and add a lot of elements into the scene. It's all up to you. Okay, it's all up to you. So thank you for joining me. I'm hoping to see you more. Enjoy. My name is ClarkAsare. Thank you.